Hello everybody, Cody here from Boss Poses, and today I'm going to be talking about the new update to the Fixamo 2 I did for everybody. So now this works on Blender 4.0, and I'm going to be showing you that right now. So I have Blender 4.0 open right now. So a lot of people have been asking me to update this for quite a few months now, and I have successfully done so. So you're all welcome to go ahead and if you own the file already, you can go on Blender Market and it should be available for you to download in the section. Just re-download it and you'll have the entirely new product file. You should not need to repurchase it. So there you go, completely updated. So just make sure you download that file and then update or reinstall that through your preferences, through add-ons, and then hit install and then find the zip and then just install it and then enable it, okay? So once you do that, you're going to see this little panel here. So if you press N on your keyboard, it's going to bring this up. And this magical button right here is the thing that's going to fix the animation. As you say, I made it label like that. So we're going to go ahead and import some Mixamo animations here. So what I'm actually going to do is just show you very quickly that this does work. So a big issue with the 4.0 when this was coming out is that when we would try to move the position later on in the animation, it would just always snap back to the same place. Right? So if you look right now, you'll notice that we still have the root motion in this. So this add-on does keep ups and downs. So the Y motion, it will keep, or Z or whatever. I can't even remember right now. Sorry, yes, the Z motion. It'll keep the Z motion, but remove the Y and X motion from it. So you can do that manually. So you don't have to animate the character jumping. It will keep the jump if you have that in the animation, but he'll just jump in one place and then land again. So I made it just so you have to move the position of the character to wherever you want. And if you want him to jump even higher, you can just push him up, right? So now that we have this, and you're going to notice right away that because this didn't work on 4.0 before, if we come up into the Fix It button and then we hit Fix, we're going to get the new name. And I made this a lower integer now. That way it doesn't, for some reason, when it counts a higher number, the Blender time takes a little bit longer for that to do. So I know people on low performance computers was having a bit of an issue with that taking a little bit of time. So now this should be no problem because this will be starting at lower integers now. But as you see, now our character is no longer in its root motion in 4.0, which is great. So the next thing we want to do is get that motion back in just to show you. So we want to go to the first keyframe, enable this bubble right here. And so that now that we have that on the first keyframe, we're just going to nudge him up a little bit like that. And we're going to come to the last keyframe and we're just going to push him over. So now you see when we go back that Fixamo works perfectly in Blender 4.0 now, which is great. So we're going to do a very quick Master Chief animation here. So what I'm actually going to do is just delete this because I'm not going to be using that one right now. I'm going to go in, I'm going to grab my walk animation, and then I'm going to grab a run animation, but I'm going to show you very quickly how to use this again. So we do have options to add physics very easily. So if you want static physics, you can add gravity and add objects. So as you're animating, this will become very easy for you because you have all your most important options right here instead of buried in like 10 menus. So you can also go into weight paint. So we have our walk animation like this. Again, all we have to do is hit fix. He'll snap back. Sorry. Whoop. Whoop. Let me delete that again. Sorry, I got to get that back. Our walk animation, just make sure you turn the auto keyframe button off right here. That way you're not adding keyframes because everything you move will add a keyframe if you have that on. So we have a walk animation here. We're going to hit fix it. As you see, it renamed the character. All we have to do is come down here and grab all of these keyframes and paste them. So as you see, now we have the animation of our character walking and it's nice and smooth. So when people were trying to use this before, this would snap, and I've cleaned this up a little bit to add a Bezier curve. So when it does change over into another clip, it'll Bezier curve that for you. And as you see, it looks a hell of a lot better. So that's good, okay? So now we can import the next one. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to do run. I think this one wasn't broken. And we're going to go back. And as you see, he's in one place. That does kind of look like a chief run. And I'm going to hit fix, and as you see, that's important that you do these in sequence. No, it doesn't matter which order, but one after another, because we don't want two of the same name in the scene as we're hitting the fix it button. So you want to do one at a time. So now we have both of them like this, right? So this is the easy part, right? So now we are going to select the one that we just did, the running one, because we want to start from the walk. I'm going to copy these frames. I'm going to delete it, so we don't even need it anymore. And then I'm going to come over to the end of the one that we were building, and I'm going to add that frame in there. And as you see, he'll change over into the run. And if you want that to blend, just push that over. And as you see, he goes right into the running, which is amazing. So to have this in 4.0 is going to be a lifesaver for a lot of people, because this has become a very popular add-on for animation. So I thank you all for your long-going support over 2 versions now. It really does mean a lot, and I will forever keep this add-on very cheap for you guys. But again, I do have to charge, obviously, just a little bit. You know, it took me a long time to figure out how to get this to work through the graph editor. I had to do a bunch of stuff. You can look at the script yourself. But as you see, now we have that and a run. The next thing I can do is actually bring in the next one. So I'm going to do the run and look back next. So that one that we just had in. And again, we're going to hit fix. We're just going to copy these, delete it. We don't even need it anymore. And then we're going to come back to our long sequence. I'm going to go over about 2 frames. And then he's going to look back, and he's going to continue running. He's going to hear an explosion or something like that. And we can even bring back in, so since we have this spaced, and I always recommend leaving them spaced out like this, because we can always come back in and copy this entire sequence of him running again, and then paste them back at the front. So again, we can push this over a little bit. Give it a little bit more blend. And that's seriously all you have to do. So we're already at 228 frames of basically an animation. And we didn't even have to touch anything but the viewport. So this is why this has become very popular. And I use this every day. So I mainly made this for myself, but I figured I'd, give it to people. I've even messaged Autodesk to see if they'd be interested in just making this emerged into their softwares, right? But nobody has ever gotten back to me about it. But as you see, this is going to be the end of our clip right here. But we will start doing the position. So again, if I had a jump animation, we could make him jump. Actually, what I can do is make him run again. And then I'll bring in another one. So we'll go to FBX and I'm looking through a menu right now. I'm not sure if I have any flips right now, but we'll just leave it like this. So right now we have just the skeleton, right? So this is the point where we're going to come in with the Rococo add-on, and we're just going to import any model that you have. So my model is going to be a Master Chief model, so I'm actually going to go in and get where is the source thing? I may have to enable the add-on, so let me just go do that very quickly. Ooh, getting an error with this source thing. So I may have to export it and then import it from another version, but it's just a quick little character that has a bunch of bones and stuff like that. It'll only take a minute, so I'll be right back. Alright, now that we're back, I just had to export the Chief. For some reason, the Blender 4.0 didn't work with another add-on that I was trying to use. So what I actually want to do very quickly is find the bones to this character, and I'm just going to put them in front. You can do that over in the little armature guy here, viewport, and then we're going to go in front. And then now I can see my skeleton, so it's going to match that one. What I'm going to do is just drag him up a little bit so that the shoulders are in place. And there's another add-on that I usually use to change the rest position of this, and I'm not sure if this is going to work in Blender 4, but we're going to give it a shot. It's called Cats, and this is a magic plugin, so if you're having, yeah, of course it's not going to work, which is really unfortunate. Oh, it did show up. So this is that's interesting. So this is Cats right here. So the reason why your arms are always buried inside of your character is because your rest position is wrong. And you can always tell what the rest position of an armature is if you go into edit mode and you see its default position is like this. So if you're making a pose in pose mode and you flip to edit mode, it'll always go back to its rest position. So we actually want to change this. So we're actually going to go over into this drop down. We're going to find our Master Chief armature. I'm going to hit pose mode. And then I'm actually just going to make him T-pose. And then we're going to apply the rest position. And I'll show you what I mean by the edit mode. So I'm just going to select all the bones with A and hit apply as rest. I'm not sure if that worked because we are getting an error down there, unfortunately. But yeah, as you see, we do not have the rest position that we were looking for. It's very possible that we could still do this like so, but it's going to take a lot of rearranging and stuff like that. So we'll just fix it once it's onto the character, which is perfectly fine, and I'll see if they have a new updated version of that. So what we want to do is actually just position this character over this and make sure you download the free Rococo add-on, because that's what's going to bind this right now to this character. So we're going to go over, we're going to go to the Rococo. I am going to have to sign in here very quickly because I haven't used this on 4.0. It'll only take me a second. Okay. Now we're inside of that. Now all I have to do is come down into this retargeting tab, and this is all we're going to focus on right now. So I'm going to hit the, let me just scroll over so I can see what I'm doing. The source animation is the animation that we built, and we want it to go onto the Master Chief skeleton. And then all we have to do is hit build bone list, and as you see, it will automatically attach all of the bones to the corresponding bones on the armature, which is amazing, right? So you're going to see what I mean by the arms will probably be inside of each other, but I'm going to show you to fix it. So let's go to retarget animation. As you see, our arms, as I said, are kind of like in. That's all because of that rest position. So if you're in edit mode, just make sure it's always in T-pose and you will not have this issue. But as you see, now all we can do is take the animation that we built, this big long one. And so one thing that I added to this add-on as well is in the ability to save your animation. So when you're done with it and you don't want to like scrap this beautiful piece of art right here, you can just export this as one clip and then you can bring it into any other animation. But for now, I'm just going to delete it. And then as you see, when we play forward, our Master Chief carries our animation, and he starts running, then he's going to turn back, and then he's going to start running again, right? So which frame did we stop at? What was it, 230? So let's make this 230, just to set the clip size. And I'll show you how to fix these arms right here. So if we go into pose mode, this is where we can actually start creating our own animation. So I'm just going to select this bone right here, the elbow, or the arm. And this is all these keyframes down here belong to the bone that we have selected. So we can actually delete this. We can come down to 1, enable auto keyframe, and push this out. And we can do that for this one as well. So we're going to delete that. The auto keyframe is already on. So we're just going to make sure that these arms are in the position. So this is where we can actually start customizing the Fixamo animation, and then again you can export it. So as you see now he's walking, and now it looks a lot better. His elbow is still kind of going through his arm right there, so we can actually just make some positions right here. So his arm's going to start coming down right about there. So what I'm actually going to do is just nudge this. That way we get 2 keyframes right here. And then we'll just push the arms out a bit. Because I do want to add a gun to it. But you can do as you wish. So I'll just leave it like that for now, or even just animate the hands differently. But as you see, we can make it posed up like that. So we have a Master Chief in the scene right now. So if I go into this mode, you can just play it back quite normal. So we have Master Chief running just like that. And we can do a quick little, like, him like punching in a lead or something like that. Because think of how fast we did this. However long this tutorial is, took me that long to teach you how to do an animation. So this could take you 10 minutes instead of 4 hours to do this in the NLA editor, which is absolutely phenomenal, right? So we actually want to go back out of this. So if you're animating the position of him running, we actually want to do this in object mode. Ooh. So make sure you select the armature. I don't know what this keyframe here is. So I'm actually just going to delete that. It could have been a mistake. So we're going to nudge the character's movement. So we're going to nudge him right there. We're going to make him walk. He'll probably go to about here. And as you see, he steps back, steps forward, and starts stepping forward again. And we can just go along. Remember, if you're jumping, you don't have to animate him going up and down. It will just carry over from your animation. Now he's going to start to run. Whoop, added a double right there. So he's going to come up, push over. I always usually do it when his foot lands like that. That's usually the start in the loop frame right there. So again, if I go like that, I can probably just put him on the second square. And he's going to turn. So it'll probably only go about halfway. And as you see, we have a walking to running Master Chief. He's going to turn around. Slowly do like a step. And then he's going to switch back. So that's a little bit faster. And then he's going to start running again. And then that ends it. That's all you have to do, right? And so see that we have an entire animation right now already done. And this is really basic, but I'm just showing you like very quickly how simple this can be. So let me just turn off the auto keyframe thing for a minute. And what we're going to do is add a camera. I have this set up so I can do it like a first-person shooter, right? So it's always helpful. So I'm actually just going to start the camera like that. I just want to make sure it's the right resolution as well. I'll just make this 1080 by 720 just to speed things up. So I'll give him like a little walk frame. So we'll hit the auto keyframe button with the camera selected, and we'll just nudge it. Right about here, we'll put another keyframe. And then if you have this yellow thing, that just means that you have two of the same keyframe. And actually, if you go one frame after, you can move the camera in anywhere. That way, this can actually save you a lot of time from creating two cameras. So we can actually put it back here. So as you see, it's a snap. And then you start running towards the camera. And what I can actually do is just add some emphasis onto the camera, just kind of change its position. We can even make the camera kind of go up with his head, so when he reaches the apex, we can just nudge it up like that. Knee down. Apex. And then right about here, I'll show you how we can make another snap frame. So I can even push the camera back like that. And then I'm going to move over one frame, hit I, all channels. And now we have a mini one of these. Now all we have to do is take the camera and move it into a different place. We can place it here. And then we can put another one here. So now we have another one of these yellows. Now we can go one frame over. And then we can change it again. We can put it like that, and we'll add a floor. And that'll be seen right there. 2 to 6. He still gets a little bit of a run in there. Maybe we'll make him go about there. But that bit of run section right there isn't that impressive. So even the camera's now panning with him. I don't know what happened here, but... Oh yeah, that's sorry. That's not one of those double ones that we were doing there. So we want to like make sure we copy that. So see how it's rotating like that? That could take a little playing around with, but we can actually just spin that back. That. And we have them going like that. And I'll show you another cool thing. So if we have the Blender Kit add-on, so right here I upload to this as well. You can get free brushes and stuff like that on this very, very easily. So what we're actually going to do is enable the cycles. I believe I'm in cycles. Yes, I am. So we're going to turn that on. We're going to find a better HDRI. So if I open this, and you're going to see up at the top, I have a huge option of doing things. So I can actually hit this. Get some better lightings cooking in the scene. And then what I can actually do is create a mesh. And I'll just create a plane just to give our chief some floor. Go back into the camera. As you see, his head is really dark. Something happened when I was exporting the character for some reason. I'm not exactly sure what happened. But, yeah, we'll just try to fix that by adding some light and just shine it into his head. So that'll be okay. So Blender Kit is an amazing little add-on for you guys. So I highly recommend you guys check it out. For some reason, it's really, really dark. This will be going just to default. And as you see, we have a running Master Chief. He's going to turn around and look. And then he's going to run away. It's a really good add-on. And that's pretty much how you guys do that. And say if you wanted to have like physics or something like that, what you can actually do is come back over into the Fixamo add-on here. And what we can do is take this plane right here, add passive gravity to it, and then what we're going to do is create a cube, and we're going to add active gravity to that. So now when we hit play, so if I go all the way back, we now have physics in our scene at the same time we have Chief animating, right? And that's just saved me a whole bunch of other time. So if you guys like today's tutorial, please do like and subscribe on the channel. It helps me a lot. I'll put in the description of the video the link on where you can get this add-on. It is called Fixamo 2. You can pick it up on Blender Market, and it does now work on Blender 4.0. So thank you all, and I'm happy to be back, and I will see you all in the next tutorial. Take care.